All right, so we're rolling.
Yes.
So this is where we left off of episode 1 because I'm just doing a continuation. So if you didn't see episode 1 of my podcast, then go back and check it out. With this, what I've been addressing, I won't repeat. So if you want to see the beginning, what did I just say? Go back to episode 1. So what I'm going to walk through with you is what we're doing really that covers breakfast and lunch. And I talked about it in the previous podcast that for a lot of us, for a lot of our dinners, we're eating out. And then I just don't snack. This is what I might snack on it in the evening, but I don't eat after 8. I don't eat before 8. I'm in bed by about 9:30. I stop eating when I'm full. I look at food as fuel, meaning I'm not going to overstuff. So I really kind of pay attention to stop, eat slow, pay attention to what I'm eating, assessing what I'm eating to go, yep, that's plenty. Not just allowing somebody else to put it in front of me and me just eat it, right? Assessing. And then it was eating meat, vegetables, and fruit. But just because I love different kinds of nuts, that is more in the beginning. But if we were eating kind of earlier, 5 or 6, maybe around 7:30, maybe right up into 8, I might just have some almonds or some sunflower seeds. And then really, it's been in the last about 5 or 6 months I have come across this. I think we find it at Love's stores. But this is just cranberries, sunflower seeds, cashews, pumpkin seeds, almonds, and it's got some apples in there. Didn't know that. But anyways, I'll have that, and then I might just have like 5 or 6, blueberries, and these are some raspberries, and what are these? Blackberries. Boy, if I have strawberries right here, boy, I'm telling you, one's probably enough today. So right now it's 7:30. We ate kind of early. So what do I got here? I got carrots and some cherry tomatoes. Blackberry, raspberries, and strawberries, blueberries. So that this was pretty much a staple, or kind of is still. And then just maybe a few nuts mixed in for lunches. Now, also celery would be in there. I love eating peppers. These are just peppers. In the very beginning when I started losing weight and being very serious about this, which was in September of 2022, I'd have sauce on a few things. I didn't get caught up on that, as I told you. And and I would have some cheese. But I'm telling you, after the first 60 days, I didn't even really want cheese. I just didn't like the taste of it. It was just like too rich and creamy. So it's rare that we have cheese. In fact, my wife last night, whatever we were cooking, I said, "Hey, do we have some shredded cheese?" And she went to look, and she's like, "Oh, it's gone bad," because we just don't eat it that often. But then the other thing is that we would do I do for lunches, still do, is just some deli meat. And I'm not showing you any of this stuff to show you a brand. I don't represent any brands. I don't make any money off of this. And I guess I should say, in case you didn't watch the first one, but I'm a certified public accountant. This channel's on taxes, but people have responded to these weight loss videos only because I'm just sharing what I did. So that's all I'm doing here. I'm just sharing what I'm doing. I'm not telling you what you should do or not do. No, I'm not a nutritionist. No, I'm not a doctor. I don't have a degree. I've never taken a class on this, but you know what I have done is, before I started getting serious about what I did, is I've done probably every weight loss program out there, from expensive ones to online to counting. And guess what? Those work. And you or your friends or somebody has found some and they work for them and it works for them and it has changed their lives. And that's phenomenal. It just didn't for me. So I took what worked for me and created my own, basically, well, here's what I'm going to eat. And then that's it. I just removed choices. Only drink water and ate meat, vegetables, and fruit. But all to say, so with lunches, we just have some lunch meat. This is just some cracked black pepper turkey breast, deli fresh, Oscar Mayer. Nothing special to that. Maybe some ham. I think that's pretty much all we did. We just did turkey, and we did turkey, ham. Did you give me ham much? No. Just turkey and then just chicken. Yeah, yeah. So no real reason. But this was probably for lunches. And I'm going to tell you, do you have one of those containers? I was going to show them. We've been traveling, so we have not, she hasn't packed me a lunch just in the last couple of days to pull one out. But anyways, she would pack this for me and send it with me. Well, I'll see if we can edit that. I just sneezed. So anyways, it's just this plastic container, and it was just putting stuff in. And so I tell you what, Amanda, I'm going to put you on the spot. Put together with what I just showed them, people are just like, well, what does that look like and how much food is it? So while I'm just talking, here, since you weren't expecting, off camera, I'm going to give this to you. And Amanda would make these for me. And sometimes, and nowadays, they'll last maybe a couple of days, but you would do the same thing if I was going golfing, when I went fishing, when I went on a trip. You'd send them with me. And you do it because you love it. And it made it wonderful for me. But anyways, then you can kind of see how much food it is. And then for breakfast, Amanda, now in the beginning it was 2 eggs, and she would cook them, but I kind of got tired of having scrambled and cooked eggs. So every morning now I have 1 hard-boiled egg. For a while it was 2 eggs and then 2 hard-boiled eggs, but I'm telling you, in the morning, this one egg's enough. And about half the time I eat the yolk, the other half of the time I don't. No, not for any real reason. I just don't. But I'll have that, and then she'll give me usually like 4 or 5 blackberries, 1 strawberry, a few raspberries. Now, it's not because she's weighing it and doing this and doing that and doing this and like, oh, it can't be. No, this is all I can eat. So over time, there was more. So in the beginning, and I saw in here we have bacon. I don't even know last time we ate bacon. How come you got this? Oh, this was when we went down to the Ho Chi Town. We were in the cabin, so we were doing it old school. Yeah. So it used to be that it was bacon, 2 eggs, and fruit. It seemed like there was something else. But anyways, well, not when I started losing. Yeah, now I'm starting to lose weight. But anyway, so now it's an egg, it's some fruit, and then always a cup of juice. And then I remember, I don't know why it just still sticks in my head, but this was even before I was doing anything to try and lose weight. Somebody's like, oh, you're never going to lose weight if you drink orange juice and blah, 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 blah. Okay, whatever. I like orange juice. And you can say, well, JJ, the orange juice on that's going to break down sugar and this and that, and it's not healthy for you, and then it's going to do this, and then it's going to do that. And please, it's okay. You don't worry about telling me about what I'm eating. Sorry, it's loud. If you hear the crunching, try and be a little quieter, Amanda, because I'm sure people are going to be like, I couldn't hear you because you were opening the plastic. Anyways, maybe someday we'll have like a pretend kitchen with staff, and I can say cut, and people will be fixing stuff for us. Just kidding. Anyways, so that. Then every once in a while, like this has probably been in there a while, I'm sure it's still good. I'll have like a little bit of this with breakfast. And then there are times, so this is from Walmart. So there are times that Amanda was not able to pack me a lunch, or she knew something was coming up, and but we would get these wraps, and they're just from Walmart. So this one's a Southwest chicken wrap, and you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa! Thought you said you weren't eating tortillas. Well, I'm not. But basically, I would just open this up, and I would eat the innards, right? So I'd have the chicken, a little bit of bacon in there, and this. Yeah, make it into a bowl. And now I can only eat probably half. As you can tell, there's, probably just throw that away. I don't know why I put that back in there. But my point is that I didn't necessarily go, well, is it low in this and that? And well, I don't know if I can't have that. And let's be all dramatic about this and oh, this and that, and talk about it and make a big deal over it. Just go, well, it's meat and it's vegetables, so I'm going to eat it. So, thank you. They probably can see you.
They probably
maybe right here they can't. No, thank you. So, and then usually an orange. I love these, and I don't know if I mentioned this one or the first one, but usually if I feel like I need to have a snack because we ate earlier, it'll be just a few almonds and then an orange or two. And I get it. Somebody may say, well, I can't believe you're having oranges, and then oranges that are at night are wrong, and then this and that. And it's like, settle down. Why are you worrying about what I'm doing? Just worry about yourself, okay? I don't need to know what you think about what it is that I'm eating. You worry about yourself. Yeah. Anyways, I'm more just trying to relieve the person watching, because there might be someone watching. They're like, oh, well, I got to tell JJ this.
I just wanted you to have your lips.
Yes. So built in here was this pretty handy dandy. But I mean, this is a staple. Like with me, and if for some reason at the office that, oh, well, all of a sudden we're going out to eat. Well, it was there for tomorrow. If I went golfing, this went with me. If we were going out, we were going to be gone for the afternoon or the day or whatever, we would have it. And how long did that take for you to make? I wish we would have timed it.
Maybe 5 minutes.
I don't even know how it could be. I bet we could. I bet somebody watching could tell. But here's the other thing is, because I used to say it like, oh, I don't want to have to like put that together. Well, you can buy stuff, and there are times too that we're in a pinch, and you'll buy those little fruit things and the little veggie things, right? And eat those. So anyways, let's see now. I could not be able to eat all of this in one lunch now. I probably could eat about 3/4 of that. So in here, got about 5 or, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cherry tomatoes, probably about 10 carrot sticks. I'd probably about half them. I would probably eat all that fruit. So that's fruit. And then this, and then, this is 1, 2, 3, 4 slices of meat. Now in the beginning, this would be more packed full. Might even have some nuts in there. But anyways, that's kind of what that looks like. So then for me, I'm kind of a creature of habit. And when I like what I like, then I like what I like. And I'm going to just see where we are on the time, because I've got you on my phone, and I've got it so that the good camera side of my phone's recording this. I'm kind of a creature of habit, so I don't mind having the same thing every day. But, if, feeling wild and crazy, well, then I might have some scrambled eggs. With the fruit, that's just the kind of fruit I like, but having a little bit of extra here. But I will tell you this, like if we're on vacation, grapes, definitely like eating some grapes. But the thing to note too is like I probably am going to have 1 or 2 strawberries, like 5 or 6 blueberries, five or six blackberries, 5 or 6 raspberries, 2 of those peppers. If I'm eating these, I might have, I don't know, 10 grapes. But what I try to do is just have a mixture of stuff. And so with fresh meat and vegetables, that's where I'm getting this. Now, there are times like when we've gone, we're going to go out on the boat or we're going to go hiking or something like that. And I don't know why I just said hiking. We'd probably do that once a year. But anyway, so I like these, wild caught like tuna in water and, just eat that. Rip it open, eat 2 of them. Amanda likes these. I think they're all right. But this bumblebee, so it's just chicken salad, throw away the crackers. Chicken salad, throw away the crackers. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe you eat that. Well, I grew up poor and rich people ate Star-Kissed and bumblebee, okay? So all to say, might have a little bit of that. We've got another one of these wraps that I was telling you about. And so Amanda will just send it to the office with me. She might put one of those in there if we don't have lunch meat. And, they've got different kinds of chicken. They've got one that's got barbecue with it, one that's more like a Caesar wrap, Caesar salad, and all that kind of stuff. And then just with the meat, trying to mix it up. And boy, I don't even know what's in here because it's rare that we eat anything that's frozen. We're usually, if we're getting something, we're eating it, right away. So, but when we are, so we just got some 93% lean ground beef, some organic grass-fed ground beef. And listen, even if you're not getting this and you're just getting the regular whatevers, because in the beginning I didn't really care, but as I started to eat healthier and lost more and more weight, and I would really just want the taste of the meat and the taste of the vegetables, then it was like, what about the organic kind? So I get it. If you don't eat organic, you're going to die and you're going to have cancer and all that stuff. And I'm not necessarily saying that's false. But, in here, Coop, and when he lived here and then with Nick, here's Texas toast. Never eat it. This has probably been in there a long time. There's ice cream in here that's never, I don't even know if it's been opened. I don't know. We never even get in here, but there's chicken breast. And then there are, in a pinch, we've got, fried veggie or riced veggies. So this is cauliflower. And then here is for spaghetti, we'll have these veggie spirals instead of the noodles. And they're pretty good. So we do have some frozen stuff. We prefer to do the fresh just because we're eating fresh. Chicken breast, just regular old chicken breast. And we got some patties here. Just get these at Sam's. What are these? These are the 80-20. And so anyways, kind of that simple. So let me tell you what else I've got here and when we are eating it. So I told you about the eggs and all this stuff. So every once in a while, I used to really love pickles, but anyways, every once in a while I have some pickles. She'll throw that in with lunch, or we have it with the dinner. I told you about orange juice. Now I really just have a cup. So when I say a cup, we're not measuring it, but I'll have this size of orange juice every morning. After that, I just drink water. Amanda drinks these. I used to drink these. So there was a time when I was, like, I just got to have high protein. And so I did these. And I recall them tasting good, 30 grams. Hers has a little bit of caffeine in it, but I can't do those. Meaning they don't, too sweet. Olive oil, right? So if we're cooking, a lot of times it's going to be with olive oil. In a pinch, I might have half a glass from VA. My dad growing up liked it. We did order out, and I ordered some fresh broccoli, just some steamed broccoli. So if you really kind of pay attention to the menu, then yeah, well, that's good. It's just steamed broccoli. Here's some coconut chunks. Every once in a while, I forgot we had those in there. Now here is this diet. Never drink it. I can't read it. Oh wait, this is expired. August of 2023. Well, that needs to go away. Anyways, this would be if we were having an alcoholic beverage, which is rare, and you want a little mixer with it. Well, orange juice is a good staple. But this would have been from last summer. Well, that's embarrassing. Anyways, now, this right here expired as well. Not by much. Is some unsweet tea. And, I don't know, once or twice a week I might have a glass of this, but it's usually, I don't know, when I'm eating barbecue, and then I can't even think of when I want caffeine. But the few times that I have, I'm like, well, I'll have a glass of iced tea, unsweet. And here is some smoked sausage. So Amanda will cut this up. This is just some Hillshire Farm smoked sausage. We got some fresh tomatoes that we'll cut up. I've got some mixed nuts deluxe here. Now, three things I'll show you to wrap up. One is when we started, when I started this, well, I've already got one made up. Boy, to drink water, because I was like, I'm only going to drink water. Period. The end. That's it. It's like, what would you like? Some water? So it wasn't like, oh, but it's my birthday, I'm going to have a Coke. And if I was going to have any kind of alcohol, it was going to be vodka. Well, that breaks down to sugar and blood. Okay, I get it, right? But I'm just saying, once a month, right? Orange juice, cup a day, I told you. After that, water, water, water. Now, let me see. I don't know if Amanda has one in here or not, but I know that, my daughter, here's Amanda has a Stanley. She also likes what's the one you're drinking out of now, Amanda? Simply Modern from Oklahoma, right? Well, you better grab one of theirs so we represent. We got a good friend that works there. Yeah. So, Amanda has this, right? And guess what? I think it's great. My daughter has one that's probably twice this big, and lots of guys will carry it around. I don't, and it's not for any reason. There's some people carrying around ones that are like basically this big. Amanda for a while had one that marked how many gallon. Yeah. By the way, what's our time at?
24 minutes.
Okay. Now, let me just tell you first why I didn't do it. Because just for me, I don't need it to be on display that I'm drinking water. So I don't need the one that says I drink, there's a gallon and then a half a gallon and a third, didn't want to do that. The other part is, what didn't I say worked? Counting things, keeping up with, and like, oh, well, I have to have this much water. Well, that's the first thing that makes me not even want to do it. So when you're drinking water, Amanda said, well, why don't we get, and you can tell, I don't even really use these anymore. This was already made up in the fridge probably from a couple of days ago. But in the beginning, these are just little sugar-free. It was crushed. Now, it wasn't all the time, maybe 2 or 3 times, but we've also got, there's some Sonic Cherry Limeade. Yeah, and then there's a Great Value, lemonade. But here's the thing I want you to note. I wasn't drinking it because I wanted something sweet. I was drinking it just because I wanted a different flavor than just quote unquote the flavor of water. But I'm gonna tell you now, maybe 2, 3 times a week, I'll have a crush grape in there. But the one big thing that I did not do, and I was just looking in here to see, is doing the stuff that fools you. That's like, oh, you're still on a diet, but here's a chocolate covered blah, 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 and dark chocolate. I just didn't do it. I didn't do anything to trick my mind. Started in September 22. It was somewhere around the holidays of 22. And for some reason, Amanda and I are at Walgreens. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we should get some sugar-free whatever and movie night. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, watching the movie, eating, and I'm like, I stop myself and I'm like, what am I even doing? Just because it's sugar-free, like none of this is fresh, none of it is good for me. This isn't fruit, this isn't vegetables. And tossed it, because all I was doing was just tricking my mind that I was having some kind of treat, if you will. Anyways, I don't even see anything similar to that, but I do want to show you. So I want to show you what's in my pantry all the time that Amanda's son eats. Right? So these are ding dongs, some donuts, and he doesn't, this he might have once or twice a week. We got, what is that? Cinnamon, the honey bun, right? But when I walk in here, it's all right there. By the way, if you can see, there's a lot of canned stuff, but this is all from the pandemic, literally. And we had some in our kitchenette, and so we pulled out. And I was telling.
Expired, because remember, I just cleaned the whole pantry.
Oh, I doubt these are expired.
No, I said nothing is.
Oh yeah. I did. I told them. But that's where we found the pears. Yes. But anyways. Oh yeah, I was telling about pears. But here's what her son has in here. He has this on Saturday morning. Here's some Fruity Pebbles. I wouldn't even want to touch it. Here, I was telling you I had the pears, but they were just Del Monte, no sugar added. But I haven't had fruit out of a can since well before September of 22. All I'm saying is I had it, but I was like, oh, it just doesn't, not the same as fresh. Also, just, for packing lunches, here's what's in my cupboard all the time. Just, pick your every kind of chip you could think of. I wouldn't even, all I see here is just fat and oil, and it just, every once in a while I've been like, give me a chip, and it tastes just tastes awful. Here's fruit snacks. Okay, Amanda will have some of these, some juicy fruit, lifesavers and stuff. I don't even want them. I'm not even sitting over here like white knuckling it, trying to oh.
How many wives are watching right now? You're taking the whole pantry.
I know.
They're like, oh my God, what are you doing?
Well, probably starting with you. We have potatoes, but we don't eat them that often. But I don't mind eating them. I don't worry about, the starch. By the way, I'm going to need you to help me clean up. When do we eat this? This is usually with dinners, right? Oh my gosh.
When I make stir fry,
Chicken out of that. That is so disgusting.
It's a quick.
Worry about yourself, would you? Worry about yourself. I showed you we have chicken in there. This was, I think, probably bought during the pandemic.
Yeah,
but it's still good, and we've used it. Now, we did go to the staying in a cabin in southeast Oklahoma where we have some land. We love it. And we did get some of these. But look at, didn't even open it. Mm-hmm. Didn't even open it. I was like, eh. So with that, it's kind of a empty out, show you what I've got, show what's around, show what I'm not tempted by. Like, it's just not tempting. So I don't know when I've had anything like this, but so here's some, let's go, some summer Fruity Pebbles. Not bad, but I'm just telling you, when I eat that, it's all right. But it's like I can taste the ingredients. It sounds weird, but like a few times when I've had a biscuit, I swear, I'm like, oh, well, I can taste the baking soda and the baking powder and like, anyway, so as you can tell, like, oh, JJ, why did you crumple that up right next to the microphone? Jeez. All right, well, there you have it. Where are we at in time?
31 minutes.
Okay, well, I guess these are going to be about that long. Well, with that being said, here's what I want you to know. Whatever you saw here today is just what I'm doing. So you got to figure out what works for you, right? Am I an expert? I already told you I'm not. Am I telling you to do what I did? No, I told you to do what you want to do. But what I want you to note here is that I did what made sense for me. But then what I want you to hear is that I just then removed everything else. And because I'm getting enough sleep, I didn't have to white knuckle avoiding things that I was trying to avoid. So I think, at least for me, when I was running around tired all the time, well, then I needed carbs and I needed bread and I needed sugar. And then, of course, that just led to all this stuff, right? So for me, it was, well, what can I eat? And then that's just it. And I'm not looking at somebody else's plate and wishing I had this or sneaking that or trying to reward myself with this or that, because I looked at it as, well, I'm going to be committed to myself. I want to live longer. You know by now, I'm assuming, right? I had a stroke, so I had a decision to make. And at 272 pounds, down to 155, 165, a lot of times around 160. With that being said, I found what worked for me. But then the other thing I did is I didn't tell people what I was doing. I'm sharing what I'm doing now because it's kind of like, well, I'm here, right? And guess what? There's, for lack of a better word, judgment of it, right? You heard me having some fun just because, we get various comments and all that stuff. So I'm making fun of those that made comments that are kind of goofy and it's probably never going to watch again. And also just having fun with you. But my point is even laying this all out, what did you find yourself doing? Did you find yourself going, oh, well, that might be good for me. I might like that. And that's not going to work for me. I'm hoping that was what was going through your brain. You were saying me, 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 as in you, 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 you. If you still found yourself going, well, he, and then he shouldn't have, well, he can't, and then it's like, well, why are you doing that? Because you still don't want to focus in on yourself? Like, why are you watching this to then create some kind of judgment of what I'm doing? Because that's what the rest of the world does. Because what I'm telling you is I still like, oh, well, you can't do that. I mean, I have friends and everything. Well, I can't believe you do that, or you have to have this. And it's like, well, I don't know what to tell you. This is what I'm doing, and it worked, and it is working. I'm still not white knuckling it, right? I'm just following through. Now, there's been a time period where I wasn't getting to bed on time. I found myself needing to eat a little bit more. Didn't really turn to carbs. Well, I didn't turn to carbs, but I found myself needing to eat a little bit more. But then once I got back into regular sleep, then I didn't have to eat like I needed energy, so to speak. So you got to find what works for you. And I'll tell you this, if you're fat, no one's telling you. Because I was fat. Here's a roll tape right here. Here's me in August of 2022. But when you're fat, and I'm sorry to use the word, it's just a fact, you either are or you aren't. But when you're fat, no one says anything to you. Oh, girlfriend, you look good. Oh, man, dude, look at that. You're good. Oh, no, 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 you're good. You look good. You look good. Why? 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 Why are we telling people they're rocking that and they look great? Well, because we want people to feel good about themselves. We don't want them to feel bad, right? That's not what our intent is. But what's interesting is when you lose weight, here comes the claws, and people don't hold back. Man, you look awful. Like, how much weight have you lost? I don't remember one person saying, JJ, you look awful. You are so fat. Like, how much weight have you gained? I mean, like, you look disgusting. You're like blown up pig. But when you lose weight, everybody wants to tell you what you should and shouldn't do and what's not working and this. I don't really get it. I have some theories, and you can watch some of my other videos that I've done on why. But all I'm going to say is this: no one's telling you when you look unhealthy. When you're fat and your belly's hanging over like mine was, no one says a word to you. They're not going to do it. Why? They don't want to make you feel bad. But just be prepared that when you go from an XXL down to a small and you're wearing nice suits and you're looking good and you feel good, that just out of the blue, people that you know are going to say things to you that are mean about the way that you look. And here's what I would say. So even if you think I'm underweight, even if you think I'm too skinny, why is it that you're telling me that I'm 5 or 10 pounds underweight, which I'm not, when I was 117 pounds heavier than I am now, and you didn't say anything then? So this is what I'm telling you. Don't worry about what other people are thinking, because right now, no one's saying anything to you is probably your first indication that you're fat. Okay? You're wearing stuff to suck in your gut like I did. Just face it. You're the fat or you're not. And no one's saying anything to you because they don't want to hurt your feelings. But I'm trying to toughen you up a little bit to say, when you actually start losing weight, get ready. People are going to ask, they're going to whisper. Don't listen. Figure out what works for you and then do it. Doesn't matter who it is. I'm not going to give you a million examples. It doesn't matter. You find something that works for you, then you do it. End of story. All the people that you think you want to impress, like I want to impress, all the people that you think that are thinking about you, that we know they're not thinking about me, whatever. Like, are they here doing any of that? The person who's like, well, you can't do this and you can't do that. Well, what are they doing? Probably with 14 donuts, right? So you can't listen to what other people are saying to you. The same way, quite frankly, that you could take everything that I did, and maybe it doesn't work with your body chemistry, but you got to find what works for you, and you got to have the confidence that if it's working, then it's working. And what you've got to be prepared for is for the whispers, and I don't mean behind your back, but the whispers in the sense of, well, you should try this, and oh, you should try this, and you should try that, and you should try this, and no, you can't do that, and you can't do this, and you can't do this. Well, they're not with you all the time. So stop listening to other people, because first of all, they're not telling you when you're fat. Second of all, when they see you losing weight, it's almost like, are they trying to sabotage? They don't think they are. Oh, I'm just trying to help you. Well, why are you doing this? You just took me completely off track. And then when you get down to the weight, and when we're feeling good and we're telling people what we did, that's great, but then you better be ready, because everybody's going to tell you why you did it wrong, and you shouldn't have done that. You needed to do this, and you better do this instead. Now, the one thing I'll just say is, as I was losing weight and then the weight that I got down to, and because of my stroke, I get blood work done about every 60 to 90 days, really paying attention to my blood work and levels of, C and D and all that kind of stuff. So yes, I do some very natural supplements on C and D and 2 other things, to ensure I'm getting enough. But I didn't find a veggie pill, a veggie gummy, none of that. Like, this is just to make sure that for my body chemistry, everything's where it should be. Some people shouldn't have red meat. Some people can't have chicken, like my daughter. Blah, 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 blah. Figure out what works for you. Stick with it. Because really what it comes down to, and I found for me, and I'll say this in closing, was consistency. Figuring it out and then just sticking with it. And it didn't include I can't. It was I can do this, and then that's what I'm doing, and then it's consistency. September of 22 to I'd just probably call it January of 24 is really where I got to that weight. So it takes time, about a pound a week roughly. Didn't weigh myself. I wasn't hard on myself, but I will tell you this, I just didn't deviate. I don't deviate. In the last couple of weeks, I've had a sandwich and I decided to eat the bun, just maybe that much of the bun. I've gone to Mexican and had a few chips. Just, I don't know, but like, I'm going to tell you this, like, I feel terrible. I mean, I don't mean emotionally, but like, my stomach doesn't feel good. Like, what did I just do? Why am I doing that? I'm never going to do that again because my body doesn't need it. It was just like, I don't know. I don't really understand why. Believe in yourself because that's all that really matters. What's up here is all that matters up here. That's it. All right. Hey, so I'm doing a weekly podcast, as you know, because you're watching episode 2. And I've got other podcasts that may not interest you at all. But this channel obviously is about taxes and business. But I've struck a chord in just sharing my story. So I thought a good way to do it is to put out a podcast each week, just talking about, well, what am I doing this week? So as we move forward, we might be in the car, we might be eating out, we might be eating fast food, we might be at in the studio, whatever. So I'm going to try and just find a time each week to share what we're going through this week. And I will tell you this, next week I'm going to talk about how I went from 155 up to about 167, got down to 160, and that's all really probably in the last 4 weeks. Why, what happened, what was around that. I want to talk to you about my trip to overseas, over to Paris, kind of what I noticed in Paris. And then when we were in London, as it relates to food and diet stuff, like diet drinks and stuff like that. It's kind of interesting. And from there, I'll just say this. I appreciate you. Thanks for getting to here. I love you. Hope you're doing well. Stick with what you're doing. Believe in yourself. I believe in you. And it's whatever you're doing. That's what works, then do it. All right. Hey, thanks for tuning in. I'd love it if you'd subscribe. And then don't you ever forget, you've never met anybody quite like you. And you've never met a CPA quite like me. You have a great one.